What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel and welcome back to another True Crime Sunday. Today I am doing a requested case from you guys. It's been one of my most requested cases, as in recent cases that is happening right now, that is unfolding right now, and it was kind of hard to write my notes on this case because it is something that is unfolding. So there might be an update for this video, maybe with some corrections or some just general updates in the future that will be linked at the end of the video if there is one, if you are seeing this far beyond the future. So today we're going to be talking about Kamile Cupcake Mckinney, and if you haven't heard of this case, it's of a 3-year-old girl in the USA who went missing. She lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm gonna call her Cupcake because I've heard from the parents that Kamile never responded to Kamile, she responded to Cupcake. And so that's what we're gonna be calling her for the duration of this video. As everyone would love to describe their child, she was friendly, but the parents were very upfront when they said that yes, Cupcake is friendly, she's happy, she's loving, she loves her, you know, family and family friends, but if she doesn't know somebody, she's really standoffish, like children should be. So she wasn't easily trusting of people that she doesn't immediately know, that isn't somebody that she recognizes or interacts with often. It was on October 12th of this year when Cupcake's mother took her and her brother to a family friend's birthday party. The party was held at Tom Brown Village Public Housing Community. It was a children's party, so there were both adults and other children present. But it was in the evening when Cupcake was last seen in the parking lot of the complex, and there was said to have been a black male who got out of a dark colored SUV and scooped her up and popped her in the car and drove away. An Amber Alert was issued a few hours after Cupcake went missing, and police identified the SUV as a Toyota model, and that was identified by using the security footage at a nearby Shell gas station. Other children at the party said that they remember a man in a black SUV who was handing out candy earlier that evening. Now, on the surveillance footage from the Shell gas station, the police identified the man as not being Cupcake's father. So any sort of custodial dispute was ruled out, and they had a pretty clear picture on who the man was in the footage. So these are the pictures that were released from the surveillance footage, and it was the next day that the FBI said that they would be getting involved in the search. And as I said at the beginning of this video, Cupcake's mother said that if you see Cupcake out, don't call Kamile. She won't answer to that. You need to say Cupcake. That's all she understands as her name. Like, she's not going to respond to Kamile. So please call out Cupcake. And Cupcake's father said in an interview that Cupcake is extremely loving, and everybody knows Cupcake in the community, as well as everybody knowing who he is. He said that if anybody had any information, he would be willing to pay. He said he would put up anything and pay anything just to get his daughter back. It was at about 1:30 the next day when police released a description of this suspect. They also released a description of the car that they were looking for, and it was a dark blue SUV with beige trimming. And in the reports that I read in the earlier reporting on this case, they said that they were looking for a black man and a white woman. And then at around 6:45 that night, the description of the man was released, and it was basically what we had seen in those photos. It was a black man with a green shirt, and then in the middle was some sort of like colorful graffiti. He was wearing dark pants and a belt that had a rectangular buckle that was silver, metal looking, and then predominantly dark shoes, and then the trim was some sort of pattern. And it was at around 9 p.m. that night when police actually arrested or questioned that particular suspect. And while this suspect was being questioned, the police were also canvassing the neighborhood trying to find Cupcake. After 3 days of Cupcake not being found, a local lawyer put up a Facebook video and it was addressing the abductors. Now, this lawyer said that if you give this child back, I will represent you for $1. And he didn't mean I'll represent you in the trial. That's what I read into it firstly. But he actually meant that I will be your lawyer while you give the child back for $1, so that attorney-client privilege would be in place and the attorney wouldn't be able to testify against the person who was returning the child. This local attorney's name was Eric Guster. He has his own firm, and the video was viewed at around 1,000 times. Now, Guster said, you don't even have to show me your face just to make sure that I won't, you know, tell the police who I saw. You can cover your face. You're protected by client-attorney privilege. District Attorney Danny Carr, along with the governor, offered a money reward. The reward was for $5,000, and then that added on to the $1,000 that an anonymous citizen had already put up for any help in the case. Then that evening, 2 people were arrested pertaining to Cupcake's abduction. Now, the 2 people that were arrested were Patrick Stallworth and Derek Brown. Derek Brown is a woman. When I read Derek, I thought, okay, so it's 2 men. 2 men have been arrested, but no, actually Derek is a girl. And so I was like, what? A girl? This is Stallworth. And then, just for the sake of not confusing anyone, if you just skipped over this video, I will be talking about Brown as Brown. I won't be saying Derek, just because it's confusing to me and, you know, I got problems, whatever. But this is Brown. Now, Stallworth's rap sheet is gross. He is 39 years old and he was arrested and charged with 4 counts of possession of child pornography and 3 counts of possession of child pornography with the intent to distribute. And he was held on a total bond of $500,000. And then we have Brown. So she's 29 years old and she also goes by the name Quintessa Jackson. And I mean, okay, your parents named you Derek. Quintessa is a way better name. Anyway, so her rap sheet. She was charged with 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping, as well as second-degree assaults, and then attempting to elude, and that's 4 counts of reckless endangerment as well. Now, this is less, I mean, it's still very scary, you know, holding kids at gunpoint, but these were her 3 kids. So her 3 kids got taken off of her, and then apparently they were living in foster care, but the foster carer was her family, or at least someone who was a relative. And so Quintessa, or we'll call her Brown just for the sake of keeping it consistent, but she went over there with a gun and abducted her children. And then she went on like a high-speed chase. I'll give you the exact things, but that's what she had done. So when Brown took her daughters at gunpoint, she was later found in Fairfield, Alabama, and she was arrested after leading a police chase and then crashing into an SUV which was driven by a police officer. So now, at the time when these 2 were arrested, Stallworth had said, I have an alibi. And then Brown commented that this is the most horrific crime, like this is disgusting, like you know, obviously. Even though we know that the family did give some comments in the early stages, you know, when Cupcake was a missing child and the Amber Alert was out, the police actually asked them to stop giving comments and avoid the media. And so the family actually did that. The internet was not having it and the media was not having it, and everyone was questioning, why aren't these parents doing any press conferences? Why aren't these parents giving any comments to anyone? And then the police had to come out and say, this is actually a strategic move on our behalf, and I want you guys to remember what I just said. The police said that that was a strategic move. Not just that it would make our investigation easier, they did say that, but they also added that it was a strategic move. Remember that. The police did say that there is absolutely no connection between Stallworth, Brown, and then the McKinney family. There's no connection there. The McKinney family did say that they have full trust in the police. In one of the interviews with Dominic McKinney, which is Cupcake's father, he had said the police have been out here all night, like they haven't rested. And this was the morning after Cupcake was abducted. So he was like, I fully trust that the police are doing everything that they possibly can. The interviewer stupidly asked, like, how did you sleep last night? And he was like, I didn't. From this interview is where I kind of got the idea, or at least kind of understood, that this was a separated family, as in the father lives elsewhere. He also has other kids with another baby mum, and Cupcake lives with her mum and her brother, and they don't live in the same area. So the FBI actually searched for 10 days. They went through 12 tons of trash from the Birmingham area. And while Stallworth and Brown were still maintaining their innocence, it was Tuesday night when police had a press conference and announced to the public that they had found Cupcake, but unfortunately they didn't find her alive. She was deceased and found in the trash. Now, the mayor asked the 99 neighborhoods which make up the city to, instead of pointing fingers, to come together and support this family who is grieving and is in a time of need. A Jefferson County judge read out the indictment to Stallworth and Brown, and the indictment reads capital murder. And it says that Cupcake died of asphyxiation on the same day that she was taken. Cupcake's body was released to the family, and on Sunday they held her funeral. Her funeral was held in a church in Birmingham. Surrounding Cupcake's tiny white casket were pink and purple flowers. There was like a render of Cupcake. It was like this beautiful dress, and there were different colored cupcakes everywhere and balloons, and it was really beautiful. And after the funeral, Cupcake's casket and her body were buried in Elmwood Cemetery. Now, according to online records, Stallworth and Brown are being held at Jefferson County Jail without bond. There's no connection between the family and Stallworth and Brown, but Stallworth, when he was being sentenced, did say when he was allowed to comment, I do not understand how I'm being charged for the murder of this child. And then that's when the judge was like, your lawyer will explain it. But I don't think that's what he had meant, but you know. On top of the reward that was offered by civilians, by, you know, certain people in government, Crime Stoppers also offered a $20,000 reward. They also reported that Cupcake's case actually received the most tips they have ever received compared to any other case ever. You'd think that this might be like a horrific thing for police to go through, because obviously a heck ton amount of tips, it's a lot. But they did also note that among the like 400 tips that they got, a lot of them did help police in finding Cupcake. And so some of those people would be paid money for their tip. And then the rest of the $20,000 that was raised for, or at least by Crime Stoppers, was given for Cupcake's memorial service. Now, this is a death penalty case, which means that if Stallworth and Brown are convicted of Cupcake's murder, they will be sentenced to the death penalty. While Stallworth is using his own personal lawyer, Brown has a public defender. Now, this is when we're going to come into the theories, and I didn't see like any of these theories on any news source out there. And honestly, there's not a lot of information on this case available through the news. They basically all say the same thing, and it's basically just the Amber Alert, the timeline, and really not much of anything else. So these theories, I actually had to go through like looking through people's personal videos and things like that, because even though you guys requested it, and I kind of knew why you guys were requesting it, because I knew there had to be some sort of theory like the Kanika Jenkins case, because you guys don't usually ask me to cover a like a open shut case. And so I was like, all right, what's the story? What's the theories on this case? And I couldn't find any. I didn't even find any on Reddit. I had to go into people's like random YouTube channels, and they aren't big video, I mean they are big videos, but compared to the coverage from this case, it's a very community-based thing. Like it's actually, and we'll talk about this soon, but the conspiracies within this case are from people who live in the area. This whole thing is going to kind of be like the Kamile Jenkins case. I actually did see one person mention the Kamile Jenkins case. Obviously it's not related, but the theories are similar. Now, this does involve Cupcake's family. All of these theories involve Cupcake's family, and some of them are like, how rude, and then some of them I'm like, maybe. So the first thing is coming from a family member, and this is Cupcake's cousin. So obviously Cupcake is a 3-year-old girl, but her cousin she looks like a young woman, probably a little bit older than me. Now she says that she doesn't believe that Stallworth and Brown are responsible for Cupcake's abduction and murder. She says, why did they choose Cupcake? She said it seems like a personal thing, and when you watch this video of the man taking Cupcake, it shows 2 children out there, and so the cousin is like, the person who took Cupcake wanted Cupcake. Now I don't think that this definitely speaks to, hey, these 2 obviously shady characters who have, you know, previous convictions for harming children. I don't think that by saying that they chose Cupcake, like, I can definitely support that. Like, whoever took Cupcake chose Cupcake. I just don't think the reason is that it was personal, purely on that one piece of information. Purely on that one piece. There are other things that we're going to talk about that might suggest that it was personal. But, you know, it also could just be that they wanted a girl, and the other child with Cupcake at the time was a boy. The cousin states that Cupcake's mother was watching the children, and that she only went inside for like 3 minutes. Cupcake was out there with friends and family. She was jumping on the jumping castle, and her mum just went in for 3 minutes. She came out, and then everyone was like, oh, like, we last saw her in like the parking lot. And she was like, what? Cupcake's cousin has said that she actually just believes that Stallworth was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Stallworth was actually said to have been like living in a neighboring complex. So he was a neighbor, and the party was happening close by. So where else would he have been? But it also does say that he had fair opportunity to take Cupcake. Now, other family members, apart from just this cousin, have also said that they don't believe Stallworth and Brown were responsible for this, but they also haven't given any suspects or anything like that, and they haven't said why. I mean, we'll talk about this in a sec, but they haven't given us a specific reason as to why. They have alluded to a reason, but they haven't said it outright. And before we talk about those theories, I just want to read out something that Stallworth's family have issued in their statement. And remember that Stallworth has had child-related offense, like, charges before, and so this doesn't just say, oh yes, like, he's responsible for Cupcake's abduction and murder. This might just be like they know that he's done this before, and so it's easy to imagine that he's done it again. But anyway, so the Stallworth family have said they offer Cupcake's family their heartfelt prayers and sympathy, but know that that's not enough. And they also say that Stallworth was like, he grew up in a family of strong values, and that the actions that he's alleged to have, you know, committed, as in like killing and abducting Cupcake, it doesn't reflect the family, it reflects him. And they say, we gave him a good upbringing, and like, they don't want to be judged on his actions. And they say that they condemn acts of violence, especially against defenseless children. And this also brings me into the next theory, and it's a similar theory as to one that I brought up in the Kamile Jenkins case, which I got a lot of flack for not supporting. And I'm definitely going to get a lot of flack by some conspiracy theorists in this video. I know I am. This time I'm prepared because I went through the Kamile Jenkins case. I went through all the harassment, and I guess I'm opening myself up to it again. Now, because of the use of words that this cousin used, in terms of saying she thinks that Cupcake was a target and it wasn't an opportunist kidnapping, because she used the word target. A small portion of the internet has taken that and been like, it was a satanic ritual because she used the word target. And oh my god, it just flashbacks to the Kamile Jenkins case. But yes, they're saying that Cupcake was a target for a like a ritual, a satanic ritual carried out by the family. On top of this, we have a lot of commenters on the video of the father making his appeal for Cupcake's safe return. Remember when I said that the reporter was like, well, how did you sleep last night? And he was like, I haven't slept. And he was like, I've, you know, been up all night. I've been checking the area. Like, the police have been here all night. Like, we just want her safe return. I'll pay anything, blah, blah, blah. People are commenting on that video being like, well, he doesn't look well rested to me. He looks like he's had a really good night's sleep and he doesn't look like he's crying. So he's definitely responsible. This is definitely a satanic ritual thing carried out by the parents. And I'm just like, oh, eye roll. But whatever, I have to mention it because it's part of the freaking theories for this case. But thank God there are other people out there on YouTube who have more energy and more patience than me, who respond to these comments and say, well, he doesn't look well rested to me. And also, people deal with things in their own way. This was a really good point. One person said there were people who have been convicted of horrendous crimes, who've been proven to have committed horrendous crimes, who've reacted in the aftermath of the crime and could win an Academy Award for how well they look like they're grieving. Remember Cupcake's cousin who had, you know, made those previous comments about not believing that Stallworth and Brown were the people responsible? She says that people on the internet have been coming at Cupcake's mother and that it's really taking a toll on her mother. I mean, obviously, she's just found out that her daughter is dead. But then you've got these crazies on the internet who just don't think with logic and are just making these disgusting videos. And we're going to talk about some of those YouTubers soon because one guy, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. I get it. It's like internalized racism because, you know, he's an African-American man, but he's saying some racist stuff, and it frustrates me. We'll talk about this YouTuber soon. But this is where we're going to come into some more believable things, because this, I mean, I can agree with some of these theories. I don't think that they're all a conspiracy. Like, there is a chance that Stallworth and Brown aren't responsible for this particular thing, but I will also say that they are dangerous to children and they deserve to be in prison. But whatever. Let's talk about some more believable theories, because there's a Facebook Live of the female members of the family, and they're saying things that make me believe that they know what's kind of going on. In this Facebook Live, they are obviously asking for the safe return of Cupcake, but the way that they're doing it is interesting. Now, I don't know what relation this woman to the side of the video has to the family. I think it's a cousin. I'm not sure. I don't know the details, so don't come for me. Simply tell me in the comments below nicely. But this woman in the video actually makes a couple of videos. So we're just gonna call this woman like Jane. Her name's gonna be Jane. So anyways, Jane in this Facebook Live is saying, we know what this is about, we just can't tell you guys. So Jane is saying, like, if you just return Cupcake, just bring her to the fire station, take her to the police station, we don't have to see your face, you know, you can remain anonymous, just give her back. But she's also saying things like, you know, we know what this is about and it's not a game anymore. bring her back. We know what it's about, but we just can't tell the public. And this particular video was only available on this friggin' stupid YouTuber's channel, and it was this conspiracy video, and that's where I saw the recordings, because he had like screen recorded this video that I was just referring to. But in this man's video, this is the racist, this is the internalized racist guy. And if you don't know what internalized racism is, it's kind of like for me, like, you know, being like half Aboriginal and half Vietnamese, I've always been picked on for my Vietnamese side. And I used to do things like, you know, because people would slant their eyes at me and try and speak some sort of gibberish to me because I'm part Asian. I used to hold my eyes open of a nut for like hours, thinking that my eyes would, like, it would fix my eyes. And I used to like partake in like Asian jokes, thinking that I was separating myself from other Asian people, when realistically I was just like, it's racism, and it's something that I've internalized because I've experienced racism, and so now I'm projecting that internalized racism on other Asian people. And so that's basically what it is. It's when you internalize racism because of, you know, how you are treated and how you think you're going to be treated if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's why I think this guy is saying the things that he is, because he is an African American man. But he's saying some disgusting things about this family. He's saying that if Cupcake is returned, she should be sent to a white family. He's saying, like, look at this family, like, they're so ratchet. That's why black people get the name that they have in, like, the media. Like, some of the stuff that I noted down, because I was shocked. I was like, I don't want to watch this stupid idiot's video, but he's got all of the screen recordings and I need to research these theories. So he said that the family is disgusting for possibly knowing like what the reason was that someone had taken Cupcake. He said that if Cupcake was returned, she should be given to a white family. He said things like, because Cupcake was like with this family who he perceived as ratchet because they live in the hood, he said that that he's lucky that Cupcake is cute. Like it matters if a child's cute, she's missing. We need to look for her. He was like, I'm surprised the volunteers even continued looking for her after finding out what this family is like. I'm like, are you okay, sir? Like, do you need a hug or something? Like, this video went for like hours long and he just kept repeating this like racist shit. I was like, you actually make me sick, sir. And this whole entire case has made me sick. So basically, what I got from those videos, from the immediate family members saying like, we know why they've taken her, but we just can't tell you guys, and like, just give her back. Like, this is not a game anymore. She's innocent. You know, this has gone too far. What I get from that is that someone has abducted Cupcake for ransom as a retaliation for gang stuff. And why I say gang stuff is because there was another video by that family member who we just named Jane. She did another video, but she was secretly like Facebook living, and she was like, you know, we know why Cupcake was taken, we just can't tell anyone about it.
Cause this shit deeper than just TV. This shit deeper than a blue app. There's a whole baby out here missing. It could be y'all children, man. We just one child prayers, bro. Y'all can keep y'all statuses. Y'all can keep that negative ass comments. We just need y'all help, bro. Stop bashing her.
And she was like, the police need to be looking into Cupcake's father because he's been doing like all these crimes, and like, this is why we're in this mess.
Stop letting them nigga breaking everybody's house, motherfucking. Make y'all look at her bad, bro. You run off on people, man. The nigga that fucked around and ran off on somebody, bro. That's what the fuck happened. Y'all want to know the truth? No.
And then somebody behind her snatches her phone and says, get off Facebook Live, and then the live is over. Here's the thing. I see a lot of people criticizing this family for it, and that YouTuber in particular, and so many you know, people within the culture commenting on that video saying that, you know, this is what you get for being like hood, and like the family are just ratchet and but specifically judging them for not telling the public the reason. Remember at the beginning of this video when I said that the police said they told the family to stop doing Facebook Lives and stop talking to the media and stop giving comments, not just because it was easy, but because they had a specific strategy in place. What difference does it make if you heard that those same set of circumstances placed onto a white family? If the family is not giving press conferences and comments, but still saying to the public, we know why, we want to tell you, but we can't tell you, what does that mean to you? If the police is saying, this is a strategic move, guys, like we have a strategy in place. Sure enough, they have Stallworth and Brown. But at this point, when I'm looking at everything that went down, I'm like, if someone took my child as retaliation for whatever, and it actually does not matter what the retaliation is for, you don't assume that someone's gonna take your child. You assume that, you know, you're gonna get hurt or that someone's gonna rob you or whatever, something like that. It doesn't matter why, but the child has been taken as ransom. If it was a white family, you know, you wouldn't be saying it's because they're white. So I don't understand why there are people saying it's because they are black. It's gross to me. It has more to do with class than it does with race, and even if you're judging class, you really shouldn't, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So basically all I'm saying is there is a reason why they might not be telling the public. You don't even know if they're working with the police and telling them why they think Cupcake was taken. It is likely that the family, or at least the female side of the family, has said to the police, we think this is retaliation because Cupcake's father has been doing some stupid shit. And then more comments saying that like, oh, Cupcake's family don't care about her because they said that the abductor can bring Cupcake back and they don't need to know their identity. That means that Cupcake's family don't care and they don't want the people to be punished. And it's like, no, you idiots, use your logic. It means that they just want a better chance of getting Cupcake back, not that they don't care that this person doesn't get punished. In terms of, because Cupcake's mother has been really heavily criticized for leaving for that 3 minutes and her child being abducted, I actually saw a video from a time before Cupcake was taken, and it was her mother filming her children. Cupcake's brother was riding around the street in like a kid's motorcycle, and then Cupcake was on her bike, not a like full-on bike because she was 3, it had the little training wheels. But her mum was like, you know, get out of the middle of the street, come to the side, you can't be where your brother is. She was like chasing after Cupcake. She was like, slow down, blah, blah, blah. Cupcake was having a tantrum, and just from watching this video, it's pretty clear that this is a caring mother. It's not a mother that people on the internet are making her out to be. She doesn't seem like a neglectful mother. I just found where I had written down one of the comments from that YouTuber that really pissed me off. He says, black people lack self-awareness and the family are lucky that Cupcake is cute. Fucking dick. And that's another thing. Just because this family grew up or are living in some, you know, like the projects, she only left for 3 minutes. And even if it was longer, she knew that Cupcake was surrounded by friends and family and other adults. And if you looked at it from like, okay, let's say that this is a white family. Even in my culture, I've seen someone's mum walk inside and know that their child is safe with friends and family and other adults around. You know what I'm saying? I just think that the criticism on this family is just way too much. And it's simply just because people have really messed up stereotypes in their head, and it's just gross. And I just think it's disgusting to criticize a mother, especially when she's going through something like this, when it's based on illogical things. Another theory that we have involving April Thomas, that's Cupcake's mother's name, is that people are saying, or at least just one YouTuber made like an hour-long video about this, but This YouTuber says that April Thomas wasn't even there at the party that night, even though we have witnesses and stuff to confirm that she was there. She brings up this screenshot, and it's not a screen recording, so we don't know if it's the real April Thomas Facebook, but she brings up this screenshot of April Thomas's Facebook saying that, look, this is her post saying that she was at a football game at the time that Cupcake was abducted. And like, there's no proof that this is real. And it doesn't look like it's real. The timestamp on it is one that she's put in there, like saying the date and time and then circling it. There's no date and time on the April Thomas Facebook page. So I don't think that that's proof of anything, especially when you've got people at the party confirming that she was there and she stepped inside for like 3 minutes. And the post was her like giving the score of a game, saying, you know, this team score, yay, we won. She could have literally been watching the game on TV or ducked in for 3 minutes just to see who won the game. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that she was at the football game when her daughter was being abducted. Now the next theory, and the last theory that I'm going to propose, and who knows, there might be updates when this unfolds. Again, that'll be at the end of the video. There'll be like a little link at the top. But the last theory involves not the mother, but the father's baby mum, the other baby mum. Now this brings it into the theory that Paulisha, which is the other baby mum, that Cupcake was actually at her apartment the whole time, and that the father abducted his own daughter and brought his daughter to his baby mum's house, Paulisha. And they say this because there's a picture of the pair in a club. We don't know if it was taken like after Cupcake was abducted. They literally could have taken it at any time. But they're saying that people witnessed Cupcake's dad taking Cupcake in a blanket and dropping the child on the floor 3 times and then throwing her in the boot. And then the only proof that this YouTuber has for this is people, like literally random people commenting on Paulisha's Facebook saying that you killed the child, and literally Paulisha is like, I didn't, and she was losing her shit. And this YouTuber is like, see, look at how Paulisha reacts to these comments. She's so angry. I would be angry too if people on the internet were saying that I killed somebody's child or my baby daddy's child. Like, are you serious right now? Anyway, I'm losing light. Let me just quickly finish this. But yeah, and then the only other piece of evidence to that theory, which isn't evidence, is this woman's vision. A woman had a vision. She put up a video about it and she's like, this is what happened to Cupcake, and that's it. I'm done. The people who say that they saw Cupcake's dad do this said that he had put Cupcake in a silver SUV, and then the only evidence for that in this YouTube video was they put up a picture of Paulisha standing near a silver SUV. I don't think that's evidence, but until we have the reason why the police suspect Brown and Stallworth, I don't think that I can rule out any of those theories. I mean, well, obviously not the satanic one, but the theory that Stallworth and Brown are responsible, I think could hold weight. But I also think that the theory that it was a gang retaliation thing that went way too far, that might also hold weight, but we won't know until we hear the evidence. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for requesting this case. I hope I did it justice. Again, I might do an updated video on this. Keep me updated and let me know in the comments below what you think, because there are some crazies out there, but I really want to get all the information that I can on this case, but do it nicely. Otherwise, I will delete any rude comments, especially the ones on how I look, because I'm not doing that again after the Kanika Jenkins case. I already know what I look like. Leave me alone. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up because it really does help. And if you want to see a new video for true crime every single Sunday, I do a true crime video every single Sunday, and you know how to subscribe. So let me know what your theories are down below, and I will see you in the next one.